Okay, so this is one click. This video is going to go over kind of the basics of everything, just so that way you can kind of get an overview of everything else. If you want to get more detail on the different items, there will be specific videos about each of the features, as well as a overall demo, which will go more in depth over everything. So on this right side here, you'll have the roster, and this is connected to hot schedules through the vendor bridge integration. And so the way that I can take the roster and I can place people into their different positions, and I can just do that through the whole team. Or once I have some training data set up, I can hit this auto schedule button and it will put the aces in their places. And so I can go through and do that, and so I don't have to think so hard, and I can just like, okay, Allison's really good at the dispatch position, and so I'm just going to put her there. Now I can still go through and not take her off of the schedule, but I can place her from this dispatch into a different position and be able to switch that around and do all of that kind of stuff. So the next thing we'll go over is up at the top. You have, and obviously today is today, and I can go over anything from any time. So right now we're on the 11 o'clock setup, but I could go to 2 or 4 or anything like that. But I can also click on, and I can go into the past and see like this is what my Saturday looked like. But I can also go into the future and do, okay, I'm actually going to do all of Tuesdays, and I can just do all of that and go from there. The other cool thing I'll show you is over here I can have, obviously they're on 2 positions, that's why there's a 2 there, and I can click on this little arrow here. And watch what happens when I click that, and Crystal and James will happen. They'll switch places. So this is called our rotating buddies feature, and then we can, in theory, do that with, or not in theory, we can do that with more than one person. So I can put it like this, and it will rotate between the 3. And you can see the different colors that I put them on. And so this is showing that they are on breaks. So red is showing that they need a break. So James needs to go on break. Marley here is currently on break. And so he has 23 minutes left on his break. And then Crystal here is blue. And so it's showing that she is already finished with her break. And so you can do that. And you can put 3 or more, or you could just put 2. The idea being that you can switch them based off of like outside, however long you want to have them switch or whatever. So that's kind of cool. So from here as well, let's say you don't have a chicken position. So I can go into the layout editor and I can click on the chicken position and I can either duplicate it or delete it or move it around or make it bigger. I can make this a required position, like saying it needs to have a minimum number, or I can just change the title of it. I can do kind of whatever inside the layout editor. And there's more to it. There's more to the layout editor than that, but you can just do that as kind of an overview there. So now let's go over what each of these tabs are. So this top one here is the layouts. It's kind of this main page that we're on here. This next one here is your lists. And so you can see here I have the different lists, and we'll go over more of that kind of an overview in a second. This next one down is the fork and knife. This makes it so I can click on it and it will go down to my kitchen setup. And so I can see that, and I can click it again, and it will go back to my main front counter page. I can click on this people icon, and that will show us all of the training data as well as all the people. And so I can sort this based off of who's the best at dining room or who's the worst. And then I can maybe go in and say, okay, Haley needs to be trained by Tyler here as a trainer to be able to do kind of any of that. You can go more into detail in the training video about how to rate people and all that kind of stuff. This next one here is the chicken icon. This shows who's currently logged in, and I can click on this cowboy hat and put in a pin that's already been pre-made. You can see here that I'm now currently logged in as Hannah, and she has kind of default permissions, and so she can't see any of that training data either. So inside, another thing that we'll kind of point out is this list feature, kind of like I was talking about. We can click on this manage checklist button, And from here, you can see all of the ones that are currently active, as well as the ones down here that are, you can use the template. And so you can use that and edit it however you want, just like you can kind of basically edit anything inside of OneClick. One other thing that we've just added is this accountability section. So I can click on Crystal, I can click on add new infraction, and so I have my list of infractions here. I can say, hey, they get a warning, here's some comment, and I can hit submit, and then that would then submit that infraction. Or if I wanted to say, hey, she has an attitude, right now she has 0 points, and now she has 5 because of the attitude. And I can go in and delete that infraction if there was something wrong with it or I put the wrong person. And we'll go more of that in detail in the accountability video. And the other thing that we can do is we can edit shifts or make custom shifts. And so I can go into here and I can click edit and edit that time, or I can click on create and make a new shift from this time to here. Obviously, it's only 2 minutes to whoever we need, and we'll go more of that in the custom shift video. If you have any questions, you can always email us at support@oneclick.com, or you can always create a meeting at the calendar invites linked below.